If you're going to push a piece of machinery to the limit and expect it to hold together, you have to have some sense of where that limit is.
This game tricks you into thinking that you are a god of the highway, right before it reminds you that you are just a meat crayon waiting to happen. Hi, my name is Mo, and today I want to quickly talk to you about LANESPLIT, a game I've recently started to fall in love with. Now, at first, you start to feel invincible. The engine is screaming, the wind is roaring, and for a few beautiful seconds, you own the road. And then, a soccer mom in a crossover decides she needs to take the next exit right now. It's a brilliant, punishing cycle of adrenaline and sudden catastrophic failure. The magic of LANESPLIT isn't just the sheer sense of speed, it's the flow state it forces you into. There's a specific moment, usually around the 200-kilometer mark, where the UI fades from your peripheral vision, the music syncs perfectly with your heartbeat, and you stop seeing individual cars. You just start seeing the line. It requires that exact same hyperfocus as playing a high-score Subway Surfer run, which is actually quite similar to this game in terms of concept, where blinking can fail you immediately. But here you're moving at blinding speeds. It's essentially a rhythm game, but the notes are multi-ton metal boxes that can end your career at any given second. Also, the audio design does a lot of heavy lifting actually here. The engine audio and dynamic soundtrack actually swell and distort the faster you go, locking you into this high-stakes trance. There's a specific design philosophy at work here that feels incredibly intentional. It's an arcade loop in its purest form. LANESPLIT doesn't demand a 4-hour session or a deep commitment to a narrative. It's built for the gaps in your day. It's the game you load up for 15 minutes while you're waiting for a project to export or taking a break between study sessions. You hop in, chase a high score for a few runs, feel the immediate spike in focus, and then you're out. It captures that just one more try energy, without the bloat of modern open-world racers. It's lean, it's efficient, and it respects your time. Now, mechanically, the game is more about commitment than quick twitches. The physics engine gives the bike surprising amount of weight. Once you lean into a gap, you are locked into that trajectory. You can't just flick your stick and expect the bike to teleport out of danger. You have to plan your line 3 steps ahead. This turns the highway into a high-speed puzzle. And this is where the AI becomes the ultimate wild card. The drivers aren't just bad, they're unpredictable, much like real traffic. They'll change lanes or tap the brakes at the worst possible moment, forcing you to constantly recalculate your path. At 250 kilometers per hour, your reaction window is non-existent. You aren't just reacting to cars, you're anticipating the space where they might be in the next half second. It's a game of spatial awareness where the margin for error is measured in millimeters. Now, I've spent hours creeping around underwater facilities in games like Soma and Subnautica, dealing with that slow building dread. But that psychological horror has absolutely nothing on the pure, instantaneous jump scare of a truck merging into your lane when you're pinned at redline. There's no combat here, no monsters chasing you, yet the tension is somehow higher than most survival games. You find yourself holding your breath as you thread the needle between two semis. One pixel of overlap with a rear bumper, and your perfect run immediately devolves into a 500-yard ragdoll simulation. It's stressful, it's violently abrupt, and it's completely addictive. Now, visually, LaneSplit punches far above its weight class. The lighting engine creates a high contrast aesthetic that is almost cinematic right out of the box. From an editing perspective, the contrast between the saturated neon and the deep blacks of the asphalt is a gift. The image remains clean even with the heavy motion blur. However, the technical polish on the road doesn't always extend to the UI or the progression system. Currently, the incentive to keep playing is undeniably lean, unlocking faster bikes, providing a basic framework, but it lacks a long-term hook. I've seen a fair amount of criticism online regarding this lack of content, and I think it's important to frame that correctly. We have to understand the perspective of a small indie team. They've clearly prioritized the feel of the ride and physics over a massive list of features. While that makes the game feel more like a foundation than a finished epic, that foundation is technically solid. It's not about defending the lack of content, it's about recognizing the scope. The developers haven't overpromised, they've just started with the core essentials. Looking at the 2026 roadmap, it's clear the developers are aware of these content gaps. They aren't just adding cosmetic, they're looking to expand the core functionality of the game. The addition of a high-speed police chase mode and time attack mode should provide the structured objectives that are currently missing. These aren't just extra bits, they change the stakes of every run. On the technical side, the plan of full VR support and varied weather systems is ambitious. Weather isn't just a visual filter here. It introduces new variables like hydroplaning that will force you to recalibrate your lines. We're also looking at a point bank system, which suggests the progression loop is getting the overhaul it needs. The pressure is now on the team to deliver these features, as they are what will determine if the game has real staying power or if it remains a short term curiosity. So where does that leave us? Lane Split is a masterclass in focused niche design. It doesn't try to be sprawling open world epic, it tries to be a high fidelity simulation of a very specific, very dangerous feeling. If you're looking for a deep narrative or a 40-hour campaign, this isn't the game for you. But if you value technical precision and a pure adrenaline loop, the $10 entry price is a fair ask for the foundation that already here. You're essentially buying into a living project. It currently feels like a skeleton, but it's a skeleton with an incredibly promising future. I would say try the demo first, learn the physics, get the feel of the game, and build up your skills before the updates drop. I'm Mo, and this was my quick talk video about LANESPLIT, and I'll catch you on the next one.